morning, Anambra. Today, Friday. Okay, this is weekend edition. I'm getting excited. How are you? Sure you had a good week. Let me start from there. But adventure, a very good night too. Yeah, the weather was somehow friendly, so we enjoyed our sleep with or without power supply anyway. Okay, welcome. My name is Ijoma, and I have my HA with me.
Yeah, good morning, Anambra. It's always a pleasure to be here. First, this is the last day of January 2025, January 31st, and a Friday for that. I will say good morning and let us get down to the nitty-gritty of the business that we have for you this morning.
Okay, so we'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll bring you a press review. It is first in the lineup this morning. Welcome again. Welcome again. Time now for us to look at the pages of news. But first of all, we'll get to our wall to bring you the news that are making the rounds there, AJ.
Yeah, beginning with the ABS News headlines. Japanese government presents climate disaster emergency support project to Anambra State government. Anambra State government reassures traders of empowerment interventions in markets. Nigerian footballer Olagret receives trial invitation from Sevilla FC. Federal government cautions against storing explosive devices in homes. IHF Emerging Nations Championship. Nigeria to battle Azerbaijan. To battle US. And Azerbaijan.
Okay, very interesting stories there. Japanese government and UNOPS present climate disaster emergency support project to Anambra State. And this is what we have been praying for, attraction of foreign agencies to help us in some of the areas that we need this help.
Yeah, it's very, very laudable because I saw the vehicles, very, very tough vehicles and some other gadget, ICT materials that were given to Anambra State in order to alleviate the issues of our periodic flooding in this part of the world. Well, you say kudos to the Japanese government and the rest of it. As to that, all fingers are not equal. So if there's a way you can help other nations in order to avert what they are going through, it's good. And then, funny enough, Japan seems to be one of the countries that is most hit with natural disasters.
Yes,
of
course.
They
should
know the experience. They know what it is like.
They should know how to go about
exactly
it.
to go about it. I think apart from even giving us these aids, I think we should even have some kind of understanding between the Japanese government in disaster management too. And I think that will go a long way.
Yeah, but another thing that I'd like to point out is, excuse me, that. Okay, excuse me. That when you get to different sectors in the world economy, you find the Anambra, okay, by extension, Ndi Igbo, okay, they work in some of these multinational companies, and is there no way you can be attracting these things to your state, okay, or even to your region? If you are one of the people that say what happened in the places where you work all over the world, you can suggest to your government, to your governor, we'll have this. Why don't we leverage on that and bring this to our state? Yes, okay, so that government will become everybody's business. Okay, AJ.
Anambra State government reassures traders of empowerment interventions in markets, and this is very, very good, because we are commerce driven. You understand, by nature. So when state government of Anambra State and maybe our neighboring states, Imo, the Delta, the rest of it, or if such interventions can come in, I think it will further encourage, and then it will even, the end user will definitely know the benefits. Like in some, I can't remember the country exactly, where government give traders subventions in order to bring quality goods into the country, you understand? More like what they do is so that those traders, the importers, will not, because they want to profit here, now go bringing in substandard goods that will hamper the lives of the citizenry. So government in some way give them some kind of waiver, maybe single digit loan with little, repayment structure and the rest of it. So probably maybe this kind of empowerment you're talking about and interventions could not just be only putting structures in the market, but giving access to funds for these traders in order to bring quality products into the country. Overall government, you understand, the substandard products. So these are areas where if I'm giving you money in order for you to be in business, I equally should checkmate what it is that you're bringing into the country. If it's in the area of drugs, I need to be sure that the drugs that you're bringing in is not going to come and kill the citizenry, you understand?
Very important.
But to, you understand, probably alleviate the sufferings of the masses. Because, sincerely speaking, government cannot invest in every aspect. So people that are already into the line of business can get certain interventions, certain support from government in order to make things a lot easy for them. So we don't know in what form this is coming from. So let us see how it goes.
Yeah, it is. Another thing I'd like to say is in the area of taxation. Okay, government should also come in. When you have so many taxes to pay, revenues to pay, it's also hampers. Of course, the end users are the burden bearers. Because once they do all these things, they calculate it and put it in the goods.
Yeah, they heap it on us.
So let's continue.
The idea of storing explosive, devices in homes, I really don't understand this. You understand?
I wanted to ask those gas cylinders.
Of course, these are
part of the explosives.
Yeah.
So where do we keep them?
No, when they say storing explosive devices, and this time this might actually be the usage and the rest of it all. Even in the gas cylinder, they said don't expose it to direct sunlight. You understand? So even in usage, and you should put it in a place where there wouldn't be sunlight and the rest of it all. And this is more like to caution us, apart from what we saw that happened in Los Angeles not too long ago, wildfire and the rest of it all. The weather now, any little thing, any little spark, the whole place is
even
dry.
Though that one appears to be a sabotage,
exactly. So,
because there's an investigation that is going on concerning that Los Angeles fire.
Yeah, fire.
Okay. We may need to venture into the papers now.
Yeah. Let's begin the paper review with the Daily Times. And then the banner headline is screaming, Court grants Sowore 10 million bail after declaring police IG illegal. Federal government wants NGOs partnership in youth employment. I sacked 5 commissioners for underperformance. That's coming from Governor Mutwang. Tunji Ojo advocates technical skill acquisition in tertiary institutions. Well, this is good. Tinubu is committed to fixing infrastructure in Southeast, says Umahi. PDP press call council governors Monday, Makinde over brothers' death. Console rather, Governor Makinde over brothers' death. Quickly, let's see what the Punch newspaper is saying. FBN Holdings earnings rise by 113% to 3.3 trillion naira. And the writer there says, profits grows by 142% to 900 billion as holdings post-stellar financial performance. That's interesting. PDP crisis, the banner headline on the Punch newspaper. Stakeholders demand Wike Bauchi governor truce as governors meet today. Fubara's camp wants Damagong kicked out as chairman. Opposition governors converge in Asaba. South Africa, Rwanda clash over DR Congo conflict. APC, PDP differ over Amechi's power-drunk politicians' comment. Headsmen kill 5 laborers on Ondo farm. Lagos Assembly insists Obasa's removal legal as DSS grills lawmakers. Banks complied with court ruling on ex parte Mareva order.
Okay, let's also look at Vanguard newspaper. On the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, we'll have the story that says telecoms tariff hike. NLC mobilizes state councils, allies, affiliates for February 4th protest. Okay, they've even chosen a date. And then Serap writes NCC over pending suit against tariff hike. And hike places additional burden on citizens, okay, on the masses. And this is coming from LCCI. While NCC to engage NLC, Serap, NATCOMS to explain reasons for price adjustments. Is this price adjustment 50% increase? Is it an adjustment? Is that what you call it? Okay. Alleged cybercrime. So we're against 10 million naira bail. And then down here, we have insecurity. How Asaba became home to Southeast indigenes. This is not a good story, to be honest with you. Okay, let's look at the riders there. Asaba and nearby towns to the rescue, and then living in Southeast had been horrifying. That is coming from Chekwas Okorie. Government is not helping matters. This is coming from Anene. Insecurity is main reason for relocating out of Southeast. Landlords Association said this. And then Anambra working on insecurity. Government, okay, says that one. There is nothing wrong in people relocating to Delta for safety. This is coming from Abia Monarch. Other stories making the front page of the Vanguard newspapers. Okay, bank comply, we have seen that. No likely survivors in U.S. plane crash as 30 bodies are pulled from river. Oh my God. I will reposition NRC for socio-economic growth. This is coming from Opeifa. And finally, sports. Okay, no. Before sports, there are other stories here. Local government autonomy. The chairman not yet directed to open accounts. Investigation. Diaspora remittances up 79% to $4 billion in 9/24. Kadasu. Okay, now sports. 2026 World Cup. What Super Eagles need to qualify? This is coming from Baku. Go on, let's see the next paper.
And the Daily Independent is next for review this morning. And the banner headline, legal experts endorse state police implementation, says it's overdue. Call for caution in developing framework. And we have at the mast of the Daily Independent, banks comply with court ruling lifting ex parte Mareva order against GHL. Aviation CEO of the year, I am challenged to do more for Nimitz, Nigeria. That's coming from the DJ. I look forward to hosting Vatican leadership in Nigeria. That's coming from Tinubu. African Airlines annual traffic rises 13.2% in 2024. That's coming from the IATA. Shetima sees women leading Africa's $29 trillion economic ambition. Says launches project Shells included to bridge gender gap in finance and economy. NCC generated 195.8 billion naira in 2024, remitted 111 billion to government. That's CEO. Telecom Employees Union condemns 50% hike in tariff, warns of their consequences for education economic sectors. Federal government unveils National Energy Compact targets of 23.2 billion investment. That's good. Appeal Court affirms prescription of IPOB. Let's see what we have on this day newspaper. The banner headline is talking Cardoso Naira's recovery attracting foreign investors. Well, Tinubu positive report on Nigeria in diaspora will inspire younger generation. Okay. NNPC Partners begins construction of $500 million mini LNG plant in Ajaokuta. And then we have banks. We have seen that. That's the much. We have U.S. tragedy. Tinubu mourns as all 64 onboard American Airlines jets perish. That's on a sad note there. Quickly, the Guardian newspaper. The banner headline is talking about Mission 300 by 2030. Optimism as West African cities get $50 billion lifeline, fresh bid for electricity. And you can see the graphics there. And we have 17 contractors received 4.2 billion naira, failed to execute projects, report reveals. Federal government unveils 23.2 billion energy compact targets. Energy compact targets $15.5 billion in private investment. Atiku faults Tinubu's harassment as Amechi warns of power cling. Tax reform bills, Lamido Galadima reopen anti-North rhetoric with inheritance tax. And then the same story here on Cardozo saying Naira reverting to true value as confidence returns. And that's what we have on the front page of the Guardian newspaper.
Okay, let's go over to Daily Trust newspaper and see the stories that are directly under the name templates. Akonde, how I convinced Tinubu to run for president. Ah, now you guys are talking. Appeal Court affirms IPOB as terrorist group. Democracy has come to stay in Nigeria, Abdul Salami. But the banner headline here says, fresh controversy cross IGP's tenure extension with so many riders here. Sowore insists Ebotokun stay illegal and nothing wrong with his status. AGF Febami, a stacking top call will save Nigeria embarrassment. And then police council duly confirmed him, says FHQ. Okay. Other stories coming from here, Hash 2025, low turnout as fair payments deadline ends today. Northern Elders fought as NHIA boss arrest as court remands Yusuf in EFCC custody. And down here, low crude supply, mass Naira for crude scheme. With a rider there, Dangote gets 61,290 barrel per day for March as against 320,000 barrel per day mandate. Whose fault? Mine. Residents attack firefighters, preventing them from scooping fuel. Okay, so the last paper this morning, is it the last? Okay, let's see. Nigerian Tribune, presidency, El-Rufai, trade west over governance and opposition. Okay. So many riders. Be ready to defend your vote. Amechi tells Nigerians. What's going on? It says politicians kill, maim to remain in power. We owe survival of our democracy to people's resilience. Abdul Salami. I don't know what's going on when these people are just talking like this. Okay, banks comply with court ruling lifting exported Marave order against GHL. Appeal Court offense, we have seen that story. Immigration intercept 21 minors illegally taken out of Nigeria. I thought this story has been, dealt with. What is going on? Owa Ibalo, court nullifies Adeleke's executive order on Farmer-Jones removal. And other stories coming from here. FIRS exceeded 2024 revenue targets. No be we they suffer around. Collected 21.6 trillion naira. It says Adedeji with the rider there. Okay, agency gets 25.2 trillion naira target for 2025. FIRS, most important agency now, finance minister, why not? When did they buy the thing where you send them buy for markets? Labour proposes 5% increase, gears up for February 4th protest over telecom tariff hike. The ESS grills Lagos lawmakers over Obasanjo's removal. Lawmakers released after hours of interrogation. I think that's all we have coming from this paper. Sure, that's the last paper for today. Yeah. AJ.
Yeah. Well, we've seen some very interesting stories here. We've seen opposition trading words with the presidency, Mamechi talking tough, El Rufai coming. But these are people that were in the same camp with the president prior to, even before the last administration, that is APC taking power from PDP, that ushered in, what was his name, Buhari. These guys were in one camp and did everything together to make sure that Buhari came in.
Yeah, that's why I asked what's going on now.
That's now the issue is what's going on, and you find out that these people that are making this noise are not in the, will I say, in the short list of ministers with the present presidency, and then you begin to wonder, is it because you didn't get any political portfolio? Is that why you're now coming out to talk about? Or
perhaps that the proponents of the big merger that is coming to wrestle power out of APC.
But at the same time, you can't satisfy every politician with a greedy intention.
Can these guys retire?
That's it.
We have younger guys that's going to drive this nation politically, economically, and otherwise.
Because they can't retire because they have no other business to do other than politics.
Really?
So there's no business. What business do they have to do other than sit down and then have channels of money, you know, coming in through political means? You understand? So these people are core politicians with no business idea, and over time we've seen that they can't even benefit, as in they can't even, with the money they've amassed, they can't even lay foundation for the citizens to benefit. What is the landmark project most of these politicians have that is taking care of Nigerians' needs? Does any one of them have a company that is employing 1,000 Nigerians? Do they have a foundation where people go to school free of charge, where they're taking care of indigent students or, you know, people in their community? These are the areas where you begin to ask. So if you know you've not been able to do any of these things, then what is it that you're still looking for in the corridors of power? So these are the things we really, but they shouldn't bring Nigerians to the forefront of this their battle.
That's just it.
Let them be doing their talking and then leave us to
Of course, they will use us as usual.
Yeah, somebody coming to tell me that we should make sure that we secure our vote. Haven't we been securing our vote?
Let's look at this before we go beg. Forget about these politicians. NLC mobilizing state councils and allies to affiliates for February 4th protest. Do you see the protest coming?
One thing I've understood over time with Nigeria is that when you see a story making the headlines on a regular, consistent basis, just know that that story has been rubber stamped. Sincerely speaking, this protest is not going to change anything. In my own opinion, that's my own personal opinion.
Just like other protests we have seen.
Because what are even the indices, what has the government provided for these telecom companies to even thrive in Nigeria? And there's no power.
They say they're going to engage NLC, but look at what they're engaging them to do, to explain to them why there's adjustments in price. Do you understand? Not to engage them to say, okay, what percentage do you want us to put or to remove? But let us explain to you that why we adjusted this and that it has come to stay, as a matter of fact. So
okay, now, if it has come to stay, what do you think the NLC protest on February 4th will now do? Because these people are giving you indices, the reason why they are making this. And government...
Majority will have their say, while the minority have their way.
Their will. So, to me, I don't think this thing is definitely going to make any headway.
Okay.
Now, talking about insecurity, our Asaba became home to Southeast.
The time is up.
You understand? And you begin to wonder, Asaba, Southeast. As far as I know, Asaba is even Southeast to me.
It's South-South. Asaba is South-South.
As far as I know. Asaba is from a place that you can just walk into.
Yeah, I know.
The proximity and the rest of it.
Well, to be honest with you, I think I saw these things earlier than now when the Anambra citizens started moving over to Asaba. And then their governor then was very smart. Uduaghan, he knew that he's taking Anambra economy, especially that of Onitsha. So he went and built airport for them, and everybody moved over to that place. Talk of all these land speculators, estates, and a whole lot of things. It is all Anambra indigenes. that are doing all those things. Even the airport that they built, is the Anambra that is managing it. I mean, that is patronizing it, okay? So the economy of Anambra moved over to Delta State over 10 years ago, to be honest with you. So we thank God for what is happening now. At least we've been able to put down our own airports. But you know, Onitsha people now, Asaba Airport is closer to them when they want to run their business. You know, and there's a whole lot of things that the present government is putting on ground now to ensure that we reclaim our economic hub. And it's very, very important to us.
Very, very.
Eje, let's go.
We can't afford to lose that aspect. And then let's talk about PDP and their, what is it called, controversy and the rest of it all. I don't know, when will this issue end? In order for us
we talked about that yesterday. That is the same people, you know, paroling again, and then
just swapping,
they move from
swapping colors.
You know, move from one party to the other. They don't get the juicy positions they wanted from that party. They move to the other one and started making noise again. But it's less for us that they are deceiving, they are using to make their noise. Because one time they will start crying, ethnicity, religion, this and that, and this is what the masses wanted. Once they hear that, they say, you are right, we'll stand with you. Well, when he gets what he wants, he forgets you. It's as simple as that.
Of course. Well, that's the much we can take on the paper review this morning. Well, we still say go out there, go to the newspaper stand around you, pick up any of these papers and read about the stories that actually interest you. Get to know more about happenings in your country, because knowledge, they say, is power. And that's how we'll be rolling up from this segment and up to the next segment, where we'll be talking in the discussion segment about how to stop building collapse in our community, in our area, in our state, and in the country at large. Don't go anywhere. I still remain Ajulu Chukwokabwe, anticipating to see you at the other side.